Okay, this is a combination of a bunch of input I received from my peers, combining the answers to how do I reconcile judges' comments that seem to disagree with each other in the same show, and how should I approach conflicting judge commentary, specifically when one judge applauds the effort and another doesn't agree with the choices made. So this is a super common situation that many instructors, designers, choreographers experience. Even judges experience it when we're talking after a contest. Maybe we see the show completely differently, which is how this comes to be. The most important thing to remember when you're coming into critique is that it's common and it's not the end of the world, not by any means. This happens more frequently in the beginning of the season, and usually becomes less prevalent as the season progresses. If you're seeing some spikes later in the season, that's a different conversation, and I'm happy to address that at such point. So here's some things to consider when navigating the input that can appear conflicting. The judging panel brings to the table a broad experience of adjudication skills, design skills, instructional and coaching skills. We are very much a melting pot when it comes to this. So it's natural to have one individual read a program differently than another, especially early season, when design ideas are still being crafted, your program may be incomplete, performer achievement is still developing. Please embrace the broad range of input that you're receiving. Always when possible, I know we're a broken record, listen to the audio files. This will allow you to formulate good points for discussion, especially if you have conflicting opinions from adjudicators. Identify the reason for the conflicts between the judges. Was one judge looking at training or achievement, while another one was looking at the depth of the written choreography? Two people can look at the same exact sample through different lenses and come to a broad conclusion. And this can and does happen between captions, especially on the regional ANA sheet. The individual analysis judge can reward the depth of vocabulary in a phrase because he or she is sampling individuals, while the DA judge is critical of environmental inconsistencies with space and body orientation. Both judges are offering valid observations within the moment. Flipping my page. So, most of the commentary you receive on a judge's audio file is impression-based. It's in real time and it comes quickly. Early season to mid-season shows are prone to have input that is broader in scope. Keep in mind the performance of the day when sorting through commentary that is not in agreement. You as the instructor know when things did or didn't go well. And most importantly, take the information that you are given and use it to support your plan for the season. Conflicting information keeps us on our toes and helps us not to miss things that we may have considered. I want to fine-tune a little more into approaching conflicting judges' commentary, specifically when one judge applauds decisions and one might have some concerns. So obviously listen to the commentary, take note of all the comments. You'll notice a theme in all these videos. There's 5 judges, they're all well trained. Just because they conflict doesn't make any of them wrong. I have found that many instructors gravitate toward the judge that likes the part or who has less of an issue with part. Well, and who doesn't? We want to go where we get the positive and, you did an amazing job. And that's fine. You still want to talk to those people. But I'm going to say gravitate to the judge that has an issue. Ask questions. It has been my experience that the judge who doesn't agree with the choice usually has a valid concern and is only trying to flag it for you before it's too late. I had this happen myself this past fall with a program I designed, and I was so thankful that I took the opportunity to say, why? I haven't heard this in weeks and you're telling me now. And that's just my personal moment there. And was I defensive? A little bit. Am I glad that I finished out the conversation and got some really good input? A lot of it.
So a couple questions were around conflicting commentary. That conflicting commentary can happen at the same show. It can happen from one show to the next. So first off, from one show to the next, I think it's always important to keep in mind that vantage points change, contest dynamics are different, performances are very different. So that can oftentimes lead to why you're getting different commentary. But sometimes you're just going to get, even at the same show, you're going to get potentially different commentary because people had very different reads of your program for whatever reason that is. And so I think that's a great time in critique to specifically go in and say, hey, you gave this feedback. Thank you for that feedback. But we're getting conflicting feedback on this. I'd really like to dive into your commentary a little bit more there to understand what is or isn't working for you. This is what we're hearing from other judges. Can we dive into that to figure out where the disconnect might be? and then have an open conversation. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to have to make the call on what you think is correct based off of your vision for the program, based off of the other feedback that you start to receive from other judges at the end of the day, because there may be differences of opinion on a certain moment of your show. It's normal. It's going to happen. So really, for you in critique, dive into that. Ask more clarifying questions, because sometimes it could also simply just be a misunderstanding. You misinterpreted their commentary. They misspoke, whatever the case may be. So really make sure that you drill into that point. That critique is your time to do exactly that.